What's good, YouTube? Creator House here, back with another video, and I'm here to be breaking down my little animation that I have completed. It took me a couple days, maybe a week. I would say at most a week to do this. It's mainly a concept of a short film I'm thinking about, but I don't know if it'll ever come into, or if it will ever be fully developed. But I kind of like this idea, so this is how I did it. So we go into Blender and you see my camera. I just animated that. Let's just talk about the camera. Boom. Alright, so let's go into shading. For some, like, what matters is what's in front of the camera. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, all of this is so, yeah. But anyway, let's see. I guess I could put a sky texture back there, but these are like the little things that I put up there. Oh well. This is the little globes and stuff that I put. They're just mainly small materials. It's not really anything too difficult. Let's see, wave texture, make it look like Saturn, Musgrave, and that was a Musgrave, I think, or it's just. I added a lot of volumes to scatter the light around to create light rays and stuff. So this is one right here. Volume. This is it almost came out the way I want to be. Sometimes if you have this a little too high, it's too thick and it doesn't look right. Like, yeah, no. It's unacceptable. So I started off with a concept, right? And once I had everything nearly completed is when I started adding in the little details and lamp. And then I came out with this. So I added the shield, and I figured, I was watching it, I was like, wait a minute, the shield is too small. Like, what shield would protect someone like this size? So I was like, no. So it was constant re-rendering and trial and error. Then I decided, hey, let's make the shield bigger and let's add dust particles. And then when I added dust particles, they were too big, or they weren't going the way I thought they were going to go. They were all over the place. They were too big, and then it's just too much. And then this right here is my particle. So the way I animated this was I wanted it to interact with the shield, so when it's thrown, the wind from the shield would be blown all over the place. So what I did was, hold on, let me go here. I clicked on that particle, and all I did was add a turbulence, and I keyframed the turbulence with the shield so it can interact with those particles, which is pretty cool if you ask me. I'll show you guys. So as soon as it come over at about 400, whoo, blows it all over the place. So I thought that was a cool thing to add. I kind of needed some particles in there. I had to make sure my lighting was right. I was so not feeling some of this lighting. And the window, I had to figure out how to create a window in Eve, because even cycles are so simple and it's unreal, and Eve just, you gotta go through a whole bunch of hoops to figure out how to do all that. But it still came out decent. Made the bookshelf, the books, and I was going to go with a texture for this back panel back here, but I just ended up doing individual objects because it didn't come out looking the way I wanted to. So I just figured I'd make them the little black splash. I didn't add it. This is like a rigid body. I had to use a to animate the shield. I tried animating it with by hand, and it came out horrible. So I just had to learn and figure out how to get an armature to throw the shield rather than me trying to sit there and animate that shield right there. If I will be putting a tutorial out on that too. The bed, I just used a cloth and folded it back a little bit create the blanket. The pillows, I just used what was it? A cloth. Yeah, I just used a cloth and just modeled it through there. I made the headboard, bedboards, and the blanket was the only texture that I took. The blanket and the wood textures are the only ones that came from outside of Blender. I used Substance Painter, Designer, and Photoshop to create my textures. So this shield right here. So I just made this shield in here, added it to a collection, and opened it on the thing. And for the shield, I just made something simple. This little lion thing I just made in Photoshop, and I used the paint tool to wither it down a little bit so it looks tattered and used. And I just made a simple thing for the metal part. I didn't really need too much. The light rays, made sure I have particles over here too. You can't really see the particles in the viewport, so I would have to like render an image to get it so you can see it a little bit. I don't know if y'all can see that. I just wanted it to be a little small. I didn't want it to be too thick. I made the lamp, all kinds of stuff. So you have to remember though, I had to learn a long time ago that what matters is in front of the camera. Anything outside the camera, it just does not matter. Like, it could be like trash, like this is trash, but what matters is that. So this is mainly how everything came out with the lighting, the shield. I didn't really do the flooring too much. I feel like I would have overdone it if I did the floor. I did the paper balls, the basket. I used a wireframe. I just grabbed a cylinder, used subdivided it, and then used a wireframe to create that. I like the wooden shelf though. That's kind of the basketball though. The basketball is lit. Like, I'm in love with it. But it's so cool. Anyway, everything came out decent. I'm not upset about it. I'm still new to animation. I started like a couple months ago, so it's not like I'm an expert at it, but I'm still learning. I drew this by hand though, by the way. That. So as for the sound, the sound effects, I really just grabbed did some of the stuff that I had in my house, like shoes running and the slamming down with a bowl on the countertop. Something simple, nothing too difficult. And the door slamming, that was just something I found on YouTube, and it actually ended up being perfect because I had a door and I did it and it did not come out right. So I just ended up going with that one. It came out good though. The style that I was going with, or the theme of the video, or as you can guess, it's supposed to be adventurous, like something awaits. Like, we're getting ready to go do something. That's what I was looking forward to. And on top of that, that's why it's called We Travel at Dawn. But I'm no expert. I'm still learning, and I'm still trying to do new things. Still trying to figure out how to create characters, which is I'm kind of having problems with, but shield. But that's it for today. I hope you guys stay tuned for another video. I will be having more clips coming soon. I'm going to do a tutorial on that throwing mechanism thing right there. And I'll catch you guys next video. Peace.